Hello everyone, and welcome to this comprehensive deep dive into some of the most intriguing and potentially alarming events happening around the world. Today, we will explore unexplained atmospheric phenomena, economic shifts, and geopolitical maneuvers that could shape our future. This session is designed to provide a thorough and detailed analysis of these topics, connecting historical patterns with current developments. Our goal is to foster a deeper understanding, encourage critical thinking, and prepare ourselves for possible future scenarios. Let's begin. One of the strangest events recently reported took place in New Orleans during the Super Bowl. A dense and highly unusual fog blanketed the area, leading to speculation and concern. This was not an ordinary fog. It was described as exceptionally thick, reducing visibility to nearly zero, a condition known as zero visibility fog, which is rare outside extreme environmental conditions. Many eyewitnesses claimed that the fog had a distinct smell, unlike typical morning or evening fogs. Some compared it to burning plastic or metallic substances, raising concerns about possible industrial or chemical origins. Reports also noted a burning sensation in the eyes and throat, which does not typically accompany natural fog. This suggests the presence of airborne irritants or pollutants, possibly from external emissions or chemical reactions in the atmosphere. The fog formed during an unexpected time frame at midday, contradicting the usual pattern where fog is most common in the early morning or late evening due to temperature changes. Some meteorologists suggested that the fog resulted from a rare combination of high humidity, warm temperatures, and swamp smoke, leading to dense atmospheric conditions. This is known as radiation fog, which forms when moist air cools rapidly, allowing water vapor to condense. However, radiation fog typically disperses as the sun rises. The persistence of this fog into the afternoon contradicts this explanation, suggesting another mechanism at play. The presence of chemical compounds in the fog could indicate industrial pollution, potentially originating from nearby factories, chemical plants, or vehicle emissions. The interaction of pollutants with water droplets in the air can form acidic mist or toxic smog. Some experts point to temperature inversions, a meteorological phenomenon where a layer of warm air traps cooler air below it. This prevents pollutants from dispersing, creating stagnant, pollution-heavy conditions that resemble fog. An alternative hypothesis considers geoengineering experiments, such as cloud seeding or aerosol dispersal, which involve spraying particles into the atmosphere to influence weather patterns or block sunlight. These experiments have been controversial due to potential environmental and health effects. The Great Smog of London, 1952. One of the deadliest fog-related disasters in history, where a mix of natural fog and industrial pollutants created a toxic atmosphere, leading to thousands of deaths. This event demonstrated how human-made emissions could drastically alter atmospheric conditions. October 2023. A dense fog in Louisiana caused a 160-car pileup, leading to multiple casualties. Authorities confirmed poor visibility, but could not explain the chemical composition of the fog. December 2024. Another similar incident led to 40 vehicles crashing, sending 33 people to the hospital. Atmospheric tests detected high levels of sulfur dioxide and fine particulate matter, which are not common in natural fogs, but are byproducts of industrial emissions. Beijing's airpocalypse by 2013. Smog levels in the Chinese capital reached hazardous levels due to coal-burning industries, vehicle emissions, and weather conditions trapping pollutants in the lower atmosphere, affecting millions of residents. The sudden emergence of these extreme fog events suggests a larger pattern that requires deeper analysis, possibly linking industrial pollution, atmospheric manipulation, or climate anomalies. The fog's occurrence on the exact day of one of the most significant televised events in the world led many to question if there was an underlying motive or experiment taking place. Some theories suggest environmental testing or deliberate atmospheric modifications, such as the use of chemtrail programs or artificial cloud seeding, which involve dispersing particles into the air to manipulate weather conditions. Another possibility is psychological conditioning, where exposing populations to strange environmental phenomena subtly influences public perception, making them more accepting of future anomalies or government interventions. Similar weather phenomena were observed in Los Angeles, Oklahoma, Massachusetts, and Missouri, further indicating a widespread, possibly engineered event. Could this be an early test for a future large-scale atmospheric control program? Governments and private institutions have historically conducted climate experiments with limited public disclosure, raising ethical concerns about transparency and long-term consequences. The mysterious fog was not limited to the US. Similar reports came from multiple countries indicating a global atmospheric anomaly. In the UK, Canada, and the Caribbean, people reported dense fog with similar burning effects and metallic smells. This phenomenon raises concerns about potential chemical contaminants or airborne pollutants being introduced into the atmosphere. Across the United States, states such as California, Florida, Georgia, Minnesota, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Utah, Missouri, New York, Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana all experienced comparable weather events. The widespread nature of these occurrences suggests that there might be an atmospheric or environmental factor at play, rather than localized incidents. Reports of darkened skies at midday, unexplained haze formations, and low-lying chemical-like clouds have been linked to particulate matter in the atmosphere, possibly indicating high levels of industrial emissions, volcanic activity, or even geoengineering experiments. Some scientists have raised concerns that these events may be early indicators of climate modification techniques being tested, such as stratospheric aerosol injections, which aim to reflect sunlight to mitigate global warming, but could also produce unintended atmospheric effects. In 2018, Julian Assange released information regarding nanotechnology-based smart dust, which consists of microscopic electronic sensors designed to be dispersed in the air. What is smart dust? Smart dust refers to microelectromechanical systems, MMs, which are tiny sensors capable of detecting changes in their environment, transmitting data wirelessly, and interacting with other smart dust particles. These micro-devices could be used for EMR, surveillance, and tracking. Smart dust could enable real-time tracking of large populations, traffic flows, or consumer behaviors without their knowledge. Environmental data collection. Scientists and governments could use smart dust to monitor pollution levels, atmospheric composition, or climate change indicators. Potential manipulation of air composition. Some have speculated that smart dust could be used to alter cognitive functions or human health by dispersing nanomaterials capable of interacting with biological systems. Real-world applications. The U.S. military has explored the use of smart dust in battlefield scenarios, allowing for covert intelligence gathering, while agricultural scientists have tested smart dust for precision farming techniques. Potential risks. Privacy invasion. Since smart dust can collect information without direct user consent, it raises significant ethical concerns about mass surveillance. Health concerns. Long-term exposure to nanoparticles in the air could have unknown health consequences, including respiratory or neurological effects. Ethical considerations. Without proper regulation, smart dust could be exploited by corporations or governments for undisclosed purposes. A Forbes article published in 2022 highlighted the increasing real-world use of smart dust across multiple industries. Breakthrough applications. Agriculture. Farmers are now deploying smart dust to track soil health, optimize irrigation, and detect early signs of crop diseases, increasing agricultural efficiency. Urban planning. Cities are embedding smart dust in infrastructure to monitor traffic congestion, air quality, and structural integrity of bridges and buildings. Healthcare. Some researchers are working on implantable smart dust sensors that can provide real-time health monitoring, such as detecting early-stage diseases or tracking recovery progress after surgery. Could smart dust be linked to the strange fog events? Some researchers suggest that the deployment of atmospheric smart dust sensors for climate research or environmental tracking might explain some of the strange atmospheric phenomena observed worldwide. Given that smart dust is designed to be nearly invisible and airborne, it is possible that large-scale experiments are being conducted without public awareness. Concerns about transparency. The main issue is the lack of public disclosure regarding who is deploying smart dust, for what purpose, and what the long-term consequences might be. Potential consequences. While smart dust has promising applications, If deployed irresponsibly, it could lead to privacy violations, unknown health impacts, and unforeseen environmental effects. While the public is distracted by environmental oddities, major shifts in the global economy are happening behind the scenes. Unprecedented stock market moves. Warren Buffett, one of the most consistent buy-and-hold investors in history, has been selling off significant portions of his portfolio at an accelerated rate. Historically, Buffett only sells large positions when he believes a major economic downturn or market correction is imminent. Institutional investors and hedge funds are also following a similar pattern, shifting from equities to safer assets like gold and government bonds, a classic defensive strategy before economic crises. Example: prior to the 2008 financial crisis, similar stock movements were observed, where large institutions exited positions before the wider market collapse. Warnings from financial experts. Several economic analysts predict that we are on the verge of a recession comparable to or worse than 2008. Rising interest rates. The Federal Reserve and other central banks continue to raise interest rates to control inflation, making borrowing more expensive and increasing the risk of corporate defaults and consumer debt crises. The rise of digital currencies is seen as part of an effort to transition to a cashless society, potentially leading to centralized control over financial transactions. Debt levels worldwide are unsustainable. Many nations are struggling with high national debts, and increasing economic instability could trigger a sovereign debt crisis. Housing market concerns. Real estate markets, particularly in North America and Europe, show signs of overheating, and experts warn of potential corrections similar to the 2008 housing bubble collapse. Implications for the middle class. Historically, financial crises disproportionately impact the middle class, as they lack the financial safety nets that wealthier individuals possess. Increasing inflation and wage stagnation. The cost of essential goods like food, housing, and energy has risen faster than wages, reducing purchasing power. Job automation and outsourcing. As artificial intelligence and automation advance, middle-class jobs in industries like finance, manufacturing, and retail are at risk, leading to increased unemployment or underemployment. Reduction in home ownership opportunities. With rising interest rates and stricter mortgage requirements, home ownership is becoming increasingly difficult for middle-class families, pushing them towards renting indefinitely. Example: the economic downturns of 2001 and 2008 saw a shrinking middle class, with millions losing their homes, jobs, and long-term financial security. The question remains, will governments implement policies to cushion the middle class, or will we see further economic disparity and wealth concentration? Beyond the economy, a potential new health crisis is emerging, raising concerns of another global outbreak. Mysterious illnesses in Japan. In Tokyo, numerous cases of a severe stomach virus have been reported. Symptoms include prolonged diarrhea, vomiting, and high fevers. The illness has led to overcrowding in hospitals, with doctors struggling to determine whether this is a new viral outbreak or a mutation of an existing pathogen. Virologists have noted similarities between this outbreak and past instances of gastrointestinal pandemics, such as the 2011 norovirus outbreak in Europe, global spread of the G1117 variant. CBS News reported that a new strain of norovirus, G1117, is rapidly spreading in the United States and New Zealand. Health experts are comparing it to previous pandemic precursors, as this variant has shown mutations that increase its resistance to traditional antiviral treatments. Genetic sequencing studies suggest that this variant has evolved to be more transmissible in colder climates, potentially explaining its rapid expansion across different continents. Public health agencies are closely monitoring its spread, fearing a global resurgence of gastrointestinal infections. Historical patterns. The role of simulations. Before every major pandemic, simulation exercises have been conducted by global institutions. In 2019, Event 201 eerily foreshadowed the global crisis that followed months later, as it simulated the spread of a novel coronavirus, with predictions that nearly mirrored the actual pandemic response. Similar simulations have been performed in the past, such as the Dark Winter exercise in 2001, which modeled the impact of a bioterrorist attack using smallpox. The concern is whether such exercises are purely precautionary or if they indicate preemptive knowledge of impending pandemics. Could this be another preparation phase for a larger global event? Governments and international organizations have already begun increasing stockpiles of antiviral drugs, vaccines, and emergency response resources. It is clear that we are living through a period of unprecedented change. Whether it's mysterious environmental shifts, economic turmoil, or emerging health threats, staying informed is the best tool we have. Stay alert to unusual weather patterns and unexplained environmental changes. Monitor financial trends and understand how major investors are positioning themselves. Be aware of health-related developments and historical pandemic patterns. Recognize distractions used by mainstream media to divert attention from critical global issues. Think critically about geopolitical conflicts and international power struggles. We are not here to spread fear, but to empower individuals with knowledge. The more we understand, the better we can prepare for the future. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay prepared, and stay informed. See you in the next session.